everybody. My name is Fabian Siegel. I'm the founder and CEO of Marley Spoon. So at Marley Spoon, we're bringing a delightful, market-fresh, and easy cooking back to the people. We want to make it easy for people to cook. And so the way that we're doing this is we have amazing chefs, and they create recipes. And then you just select the recipes that you want to cook. We send you a box to your home. And in that box, you have all the ingredients and the recipe cards. So you can simply cook in 30 minutes an amazing meal. No? So basically what we're doing is we're taking care of your weeknight cooking. So and when you think about this weeknight cooking, to me, I always say we're kind of in a grocery industry. And the nice thing about groceries is it's a massive market. Actually, in fact, it's the largest vertical of consumer spending. And people spend more money on groceries than on cars or anything else. And at the same time, it's the only vertical that has not switched from offline to online. So this channel switch hasn't really happened. 97% of people shop in the supermarket. And when you look at all the other verticals that switched in the past from offline to online, you saw normally that new brands have been built in the space. I'm at Travel, we have Expedia, you have Priceline. Normally, these are not the offline brands that build a presence online. So we believe, kind of in groceries, you will not see like the Tesco's and Safeways of the world to really dominate online. I don't see that happening. It hasn't happened before. So we think there's an opportunity to build large consumer brands online. So let's talk about groceries a little bit. I mean, this is a supermarket. In a way, supermarkets look beautiful. You have all these great ingredients lying there in front of you when you walk in. But in fact, supermarkets are terrible. It's a terrible industry. And first, you don't realize because you see all these beautiful things. You can pick anything you like, meats, fish, everything, just pick it. But in fact, what these old supermarkets do, they make you buy more than you actually need. Now, consumers throw away 20% of the product that they buy. Now, you want to cook a sauce, you need, I don't know, celery, you need 2 sticks. What do you do with the rest? You throw it out. Or, I have a fish sauce. Now you need a fish sauce, you need 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, but they make you buy the whole thing. Well, supermarkets don't care. They make money. Now, if you pay too much, if you buy 20% too much, that's fine. They make money. We believe it doesn't make sense. We believe you should just get the food you actually need. Makes more sense. It's not so wasteful. But supermarkets are also wasteful from another perspective. They take all the space. I mean, look at this beautiful example of a supermarket. You have thousands of these. Now, the Kroger's company, for example, it's a US supermarket chain. They have 3,500 locations to cover 60% of the US population. And they want you to go there and drag all the stuff home. And we believe it doesn't make sense because it destroys the landscape. It takes all the space away. You have all these people like waiting. You have all the inventory waiting. And in the end, we think it makes more sense to make the food come to you. In fact, we can cover 87% of the US population with 3 locations. And that's much easier than having 3,500. No? It's less wasteful. But I think the obvious and most staggering waste that you see in supermarkets is actually all the food that they throw out. No? I mean, the thing about supermarkets is, and people don't realize it maybe, think you're a fashion retailer and you're sending your collection to your stores. And then you have 3 days to sell it. It doesn't make sense. But that's happening in groceries every day. All this fresh ingredients waiting for you to pick it up, and if you don't pick it up, they throw it out. Well, they don't care because you pay for it. It's priced in. So this 30% waste, it's priced in. So when you think about that, you grow 2 tomatoes, 1 you eat, 1 you throw out. Doesn't make much sense. No, 80% of freshwater consumption is done by agriculture. It's not us showering. It's all this food that we produce and then we throw out. Now, all the CO2 that you create was creating all this food. It doesn't make much sense. So we think, don't pay for that. No? You shouldn't pay for this waste. You should just get exactly what you need. So if you think about this wasteful industry and the way we make people cook, I think we can replace them. And the only way you can replace these guys is if you are better and cheaper. And the cheaper part, I think, is obvious. I tried to explain with all this waste. The way we can make people cook is much, much cheaper because, first of all, we have a much simpler supply chain. We don't have 25,000 SKUs lying in these stores. We just have 10 recipes, 10 ingredients. It's 100 SKUs. That's much easier. I have to buy 100 things, not 25,000. And in fact, I can send you just exactly what you need. So that makes it efficient, cheap. I've got no waste. When I buy my food, I already know what my customers will cook. And when I send you something, I send you exactly what you need to cook. There's no waste. Now, think about all the margin advantage that we have by not producing any waste. And we don't have all this real estate. Costs money. Prime real estate, prime location for you to pick up some perishable product that lasts for 3 days and then they have to throw it out. It doesn't make much sense. So the way we make people cook, it's much cheaper. But it's not only cheaper, it's so much better. Not like a chicken thigh with sweet potato wedges and mango chutney. It's awesome. It's very easy. It's yummy. It's awesome. Or when was the last time you did a saltimbocca with a polenta mash and sugar snap peas? It's so easy to do. Why don't you do that? Well, our customers cook like that every week. That's how they cook. It's super easy. It's much better. No? You don't have to shop. It comes to you. It's healthy. I was on a panel the other day, and people said, well, childhood obesity, 50% of US children are obese. What are we going to do? And I say, well, very simple. Just cook. Don't make them eat frozen pizza. Don't make them eat McDonald's. Just cook. Nothing can happen. It's eco-friendly. There's no waste. We make the world a better place by reducing all this terrible food waste and the water consumption and the CO2 and everything else that's related to that. You save money, it's more efficient. But the most important part, to be honest, that our customers love is there's one thing less to worry about. People are already busy. Life's complicated. So weeknight cooking is taken care of. That's one thing they don't worry about anymore. Well, I can tell you a lot about why it's better, no? Blah, blah, blah. In the end, you've got to look at the data. I always say cohorts never lie. If you add value, people stay. If you don't add value, people leave. So in this business, to be honest, I've never seen better cohorts than that. They're completely horizontal. Nobody leaves. These people spend $180 per month. It's not like a Netflix subscription where like you have $10 a month and you just forget about it. This is months and months where people keep paying our boxes and eating our food, and in fact replacing the supermarket. These guys have replaced the supermarkets. They do not cook weeknight cooking with supermarkets anymore. And we're getting better and better at finding these guys. That's why the cohorts are getting better and better. But what this tells me is people sometimes think I'm crazy. I'm saying, look, we're going to replace supermarkets. Well, when it comes to weeknight cooking, I think I can prove it. The data is right there. And it's a massive industry, and it's going to have a huge impact also on the environment. So from that perspective, I think we're going to replace supermarkets. We do this in Europe, in the US, in Australia. We're very young, actually. We're a 2-year-old company, but the growth has been tremendous. I mean, we grew 10x the last 12 months. It's been amazing. And it's very simple. It's because people, once they cook with us, they don't cook with the supermarket anymore. That's the only way you can have a business that grows fast. Just make it relying on existing business, not just relying on new customers. But as I mentioned, we're very, very small. We are going to generate 23 million in revenue this year, tiny. We're approaching 100 million next year. We're going to do $1 billion in 2020. To be honest, I think that's a little bit small, given the size of the industry. We should be bigger than that. It should be a bigger industry, a bigger business. And sometimes I feel like the whole industry, you're not the only one doing this kind of making people cook. I feel like the whole industry is kind of very, very small. And the way sometimes I look at this, I look at what we do, I look at some other competitors. And for example, there's this company in the US, it's called Blue Apron. And they're doing, what, 900 million sales this year, maybe, I don't know. But what's obvious is we're the same size. No? As you can see, same size. And then people sometimes think, Fabian, what's wrong with you? It doesn't look like it's, one looks bigger. But I think you have to put things in perspective. So there's a company, it's called Whole Foods. It's a $15 billion business. 10, 12, 13 years old company. 15 billion in sales. So if you put, like, for example, this Blue Apron and this Marley Spoon next to them, we are already like looking closer together, kind of similar size. But that's not the story. The real story is these guys have less than 2% market share. 15 billion in sales, less than 2% market share. I'd love to have a business like that, 2% market share. I think my investors would be fine. Nobody would complain. No? That is the real picture. That's the US grocery market. It's a $900 billion market. And that little green thing, That's this $15 billion business I was just talking about. And as you can clearly see, this company, Blue Apron or Marley Spoon, we're the same size. We're tiny. We're tiny, small. And this yellow bar, this is our customers because they're all offline. They're switching from offline to online, like we've seen in any other vertical. And that's what gets me excited, and everybody in our company, because not only is it a big business we're building, it's a business that will save tons of water waste, tons of CO2 consumption. I think it will be transformative to the way people cook, and also in terms of sustainability. My time is up. Thank you.